The Sci-Fi Film Podcast. Hello and welcome to the Sci-Fi Film Podcast. I am Andy Walker and I am here once again with my son Scott. Hello, Scott.
Hello there.
Hello. And poor little Scotty Poo's not been very well.
No.
Oh, my poor little soldier. He's not been in the best of health.
No, I don't know what I think I've got some sort of flu, but I don't know.
Some buggy thing.
Some buggy
Hopefully
not,
not.
life out of me.
Hopefully not COVID-like.
No, hopefully.
Hopefully. We will get tests done and we will find out.
Hmm.
I will come round with my equipment and test you later. We will
I don't know if that sounds more. I don't know if that's more threatening than the films we've watched or not.
We will take you down to the laboratory and we will extract the blood from you and we will do tests to see what it is that is causing your malady. Don't ask me, mate. I haven't got a clue. Anyway, I've got a bit of a tickle in my throat. I've got a frog in my throat. I don't know how that got in there. What you get for sleeping? What you get for sleeping?
Time of year. Time of
Right,
year.
anyway,
So
we have two science fiction short films, followed by a horror feature film. So we're going to start off. The first one is a short science fiction film from 2014 called Emptiness. And this is Neelish Films. It's directed, edited, and written by Varbhav Vats, and the cast is Varbhav Vats and Ashutosh Nagar. Yes. Synopsis says, post-2025, a global plan to collect and quarantine all the nuclear warheads on Earth goes terribly wrong. All the warheads are triggered accidentally, leading to eradication of most of the global population, whilst leaving the atmosphere full of toxic gases and high levels of radiation. This movie tells the tale of a lonely man who ventures out into space to relocate to another habitable planet. Watch how on his long journey he discovers the true meaning of loneliness and how lack of basic social bonds leads him to depression and eventually to question his existence. Yeah, now this is a very cheaply made film. But hey, you know, a lot of our films are. I don't know about you. I kind of the set looks like it's homemade. It looks like it's made out of cardboard and sticky tape. But it isn't bad. But, I mean,
no.
it looks like a spaceship.
Yeah, it's the same. Like we said, we've seen a lot of cheaply made films, and a lot of them have looked a lot worse.
Absolutely. It's got decent computer graphics on it.
Yeah.
The acting's okay. It's not excellent.
Yeah.
It's okay.
No, I would say it's not the best we've seen, but it's definitely not the worst. I think.
No. The only problem I had is the fact that he gets very upset in this film, and he sheds a few tears. And while he was shedding the tears and that sort of thing, I kind of lost sight of what he was doing as far as the acting was concerned, because all I wanted to say was wipe your bloody nose, because
Yeah,
he had snot hanging out his nose while he
yeah,
was crying. And it was a bit Blair Witch. But, the only thing I would say is really weird is the acting seemed to be a lot better, and well, it was a lot better in the first half than it was in
mm,
the second half. When he found the boy,
yeah.
the acting seemed to get worse, which is a bit
Yeah,
weird.
it's one of the few times I've sat there and watched a film, or I've watched one with the child actors in it. Where I've sat there afterwards and thought they could have done a lot better with the actor.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would say it's probably a family-made thing. I don't know. It could,
Yeah,
it's a good idea. I think the idea is very good, and
yeah,
it's not a bad film. It's cheaply made, and there are things that aren't great about it, but it's
mm.
not a bad film, really.
No, I was saying it's definitely one that it's got a great idea to it, and it's a great sort of great idea and great sort of I don't know sort of meaning. But it's just I think the execution of it was could have been a lot better.
But I mean, looking at it, it was probably made for about a couple of quid.
Yeah,
Um,
the
so
set was definitely homemade,
yeah,
but it's saying it's not not the worst one I've seen in any film anyway.
no,
I've
definitely.
I've definitely seen a few films where they've had a lot of money put into it, and the set looks like sort of 2-year-olds made it. So
Yeah, I mean, it's got its faults, but for a homemade, I think what I would say it's a homemade film, made on a really tight budget. I think it's pretty good,
yeah,
and as I say, it definitely has a good, really good idea.
mm,
So worth a look, if nothing else.
yeah,
Now, the next short film is called Night in Space. It's a 2013 film, written and directed by Thomas O'Keefe. The cast is Jeff Guadiano and Martha Stevens. Now, there isn't actually a synopsis for this, but what
no,
it does say, where there is normally a synopsis, it says this is a 16mm short sci-fi comedy film, student made.
yeah. I think there's sort of emphasis on the student made bit.
Yeah. What did you think?
Um, it definitely makes the first one look better.
Yeah,
I just the set design as well. Definitely,
yeah,
just I don't know. I sat there I sat there the whole way through this and just it was felt really cringeworthy.
yeah. No, I agree.
And saying their acting wasn't the best either. I get the fact, okay, yeah, student film, it's student made. See, they're probably doing it for a course or whatever. So they're not going to be the best and the most sort of professional in the world, but
I Yeah.
it's
I just got
definitely
the feeling. I got the feeling that it was made by students who weren't studying filmmaking. It,
no.
was-
It's almost like this sort of. It was a for me sort of thinking about it. It's almost a sort of a teacher's gone. Well, you can have say like 3 hours detention, or you can come and help me make this.
yeah, I don't know, it's weird.
Uh,
But yeah, I
it's
mean,
just-
of the two films, given the fact that the other one is obviously made out of cardboard and sticky tape,
yeah,
I think the set was actually better in the first film than it was in this one.
yeah. It just I think the acting was as well.
Yeah,
I just
absolutely.
I
And
just saying it's just the first. I sort of like the idea. I get the fact that obviously the sort of idea behind it of that feeling you got to try and keep going and all that when you lose one of your team or they go off or whatever. But it just
yeah,
there didn't seem like there was that much or any emotion in it. It was very wooden.
yeah, it was. The acting was very wooden, and it's a bit odd. And
Yeah,
my big problem with it is the fact that whilst there were probably two moments in it that I thought were, at best, mildly amusing,
yeah,
calling this a comedy film, I think, is a very, very big jump. It's
yeah.
not
To be honest,
funny.
I actually I actually found more laughs in our feature length that we watched than I did in this one.
Yeah, definitely. But it's not funny.
No,
I
it's
mean,
trying too hard to be funny as well. I think that's the
yeah,
problem with it.
I thi-
It's just it's trying too hard all round. I think really.
yeah. It's not a great film, and I don't like saying that's about short films because short
No.
independent films are the thing that we want to keep going, and it's a pity because it has so much. The idea has a lot of potential,
Mm.
but it just fails on so many fronts.
Yeah, like we said before, with when people have done other student films and stuff like that. I hope that this is like, it sounds horrible, but I hope this is sort of their first one and it's a stepping stone for them
Yeah,
to go better. And the sort of criticism or whatever they get hasn't put them off, and they sort of keep improving. But if this is sort of like, I don't know, something they turned in as a final piece,
yeah, no,
I'd
I
be a
know.
bit like, a bit disappointed. But I'm hoping that this is sort of a stepping stone for them to learn and go
Yeah,
further and sort of, I don't know, sort of either change ideas of how to do things or learn from it or whatever. But it's definitely, in my opinion, trying too hard
yeah.
on a lot of fronts.
It doesn't do it for me at all.
No.
It's not great sci-fi. It's not great comedy, and it's just really, yeah. Okay, well there you go. Right, so the third film, which is our feature film, is from 2006, and this film is called Hatchet. Now, this
Yeah.
was the first film to feature the character. I think he said Alistair Crowley. Then it's not Alistair Crowley, is it?
No.
I can't
Victor.
remember. Victor Crowley. That's it. I forgot his first name.
Alistair Crowley. Wow.
Yeah,
That would have been
uh,
a completely different film.
absolutely. So let's go through this. Right, the writer and director was Adam Green. Now, these are films that he was either writer or director or just writer and things like. He did some shorts and some TV work in the 2010s. He did. Now, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to have to make a thing here. He did a film called Frozen in 2010, but it wasn't that one.
No, it wasn't the one. It wasn't the animated one.
It wasn't Let It Go. It was.
No.
He directed and wrote Frozen in 2010. He directed and wrote Hatchet 2 in 2010 as well, and directed and wrote Chillerama in 2011. He directed Victor Crowley in 2017, and he wrote Hatchet 3. And I can't remember what year that was because I wrote it down. Never mind. Okay, so the cast. We have Joel David Moore, did some TV stuff in the 2010s. He did The Dead One in 2007, Avatar 2009, Chillerama 2011, Shark Night 2011, Julia X 2011, Hatchet 3, Grace the Possession. Now, why haven't I got years for those? I don't know. Avatar The Way of Water 2022. And he is also going to be in 3 films which are in pre-production, which are Avatar 3, 4, and 5.
I do want to know how he was in the third Hatchet film, bearing in mind what happens to him in the first one.
I
But
know. Maybe he played a different role. Or maybe it's a flashback. I don't know. Then we have Arama Zaragoza. Did some TV stuff in the 2010s. Now, she also goes under the name of Tamara Feldman.
yes,
So some of these should be different ones. So we got Something's Wrong in Kansas in 2008, Alice Kills 2011, and Blood Work in 2012. And we have Dion Richmond. Dion Richmond did some TV stuff in the 90s, was in Scream 3 in 2000, Bad Connection, which is in post-production, but hasn't done any other horror stuff or anything like that other than that. Then we have the fantastic Kane Hodder. Now, Kane Hodder has done TV and shorts work in the 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, and 2020s. He was in Alligator in 1980, although he was uncredited. City Limits, 1984. House 2, 1987. Prison, 1987. Friday the 13th, Part 7, 1988. And Friday the 13th Part 8 in 1989, Alligator 2 in 1991, House 4 in 1992, No Place to Hide 1992, Jason Goes to Hell 1993, Pumpkinhead 2 1993, Project Metal Beast 1995, Scanner Cop 2 1995, but that went straight to video. Wishmaster 1997, Children of the Corn 5 1998. Let me go. Hang on. What's it? Watchers 4 1998, Jason X 2001, 2001 Maniacs in 2005. Sorry, The Devil's Rejects 2005, but he was uncredited. Room 6 2006, Behind the Mask 2006, Fallen Angels 2006, Hack 2007, Ed Gein, or Gein, which straight to video 2007, Born 2007, Dead Moon, which went to video 2007, Old Habits Die Hard 2009, Bundy, which was a straight to video 2009, Hatchet 2 in 2010, Monster Piece Theatre Volume 1 in 2011. He was in one part of that. The Afflicted 2011, Exit 33 2011, Chillerama 2011, The Family 2011, Among Friends 2012, Hatchet 3 2013, Exit to Hell 2013, Love in the Time of Monsters 2014, The Haunting of Alice D 2014, Abandoned in the Dark 2014, Crazed 2014, Charlie's Farm 2014, Muck 2015, Old 37 2015, Almost Mercy 2015, Smothered 2016, Chainsaw Maidens from Hell 2016, Victor Crowley 2017, Death House 2017, The Accidental Zombie 2017, Shed of the Dead 2019, Paralyzed with Fear 2019, The Good Things Devils Do 2020, Freddy versus Jason versus Ash, which is a comic film in 2020, but which is voice only on that.
Yeah.
Knife Corp Core 2021, Room 9 2021, Death Breed 2021, 13 Fanboy 2021, Dead by Midnight Y2 Kill 2022, Toe 2022, and then we have a load of films, Night Stalker in 2020, which is supposed to be coming out 2023, and then a load of films which haven't actually finished production yet, which are called Witchula, They Turn Us Into Killers, or Turned Us Into Killers, Severed Road, Patriots Day, Junction Murders, Hayride to Hell, Iron Lung, Dr. Frankenstein's Journal, Dawn of Five Evils, Beaten Path, B4TM, and Z Dead End.
Yeah.
He's done a few bits.
Well, the thing is, a lot of the stuff is he doesn't like, because even in Hatchet, he's the stunt coordinator as well.
Yeah.
So he does so much, not just acting in it, but does all the stunt coordination in them as well. And it doesn't surprise me that he's that sought after.
If you look at it, a lot of these films, he plays sort of masked murderers or people who've got deformed faces, so you never actually see what he looks like.
No.
So yeah, there you go. Then we have Mercedes McNabb. Did some TV stuff in the 90s and the 2000s. Was in The Addams Family in 1991, Addams Family Values in 1993, Fantastic Four in 1994. What's that? 12 or XII in 2008, Dark Real in 2008, and Hatchet 2 in 2010. There must be a flashback thing going on in that.
Yeah.
Then we have we've got Harry Shen. Did some TV stuff in the 90s, 2000s, 2010s, and 2020s. Was uncredited in Starship Troopers in 1997. Was in Shrieker 1998, Dead Scared 2004, The Gene Generation 2007, Rule of Three 2008, Hatchet 2 in 2010, Number one serial killer in 2013. Hatchet 3 in 2013. Snowpiercer in 2013, but a voice only. Unidentified in 2013. Victor Crowley in 2017. Automation in 2019. What's that one? I really probably can't read my own writing. Made Lines in 2022 and Full Metal Alchemist 2022. There were two films, but he was voiceover
Yeah.
only. Then we have Joel Murray in let me see, TV stuff in the 90s, 2000s, 2010s. And then we had Scrooged in 1988, Hatchet 2 in 2010, but uncredited. Blood-Sucking Bastards in 2015, Ghostbusters 2016 uncredited, and Holiday Hell in 2019. And we have Jolie Fiore, who also goes under the name of Jolie Fioravanti and Jolie Pusanetti. Did some TV stuff in the 2010s, was in Trespassers in 2006 and Hatchet 2 in 2010.
Yeah, there's definitely got to be a flashback thing there somewhere.
Yeah. We have Richie Rail, Riehle, Rail, I think. So did some TV stuff in the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s. Was in Mighty Joe Young in 1998, Time Changer in 2002. I love this title, The Beach Party at the Threshold of Hell, 2006. The Dark Room, 2006. Zombies, 2007. Resurrection Mary, 2007. Your Name Here, 2008. Aldi and the Wolf, 2008. Necessary Evil, 2008. Nowhere to Hide, 2009. Halloween 2 in 2009. The Last Lovecraft, Relic of Cthulhu, 2009. Growth, 2010. Chillerama, 2011. Extraction, 2012. Texas Chainsaw, 2013. The Secret Village, 2013. Mischief Night, 2013. The Scribbler, 2014. The Cabining, weird name, 2014. Transformers Age of Extinction in 2014. Unconscious, 2014. Contracted Phase 2, 2015. Helen Keller versus Night Wolves, 2015. Brilliant. Dementia, 2015. Fear Inc., 2016. Citrus Springs, 2016. Bad Apples, 2018. West of Hell, 2018. The Invisible Mother, 2018. Limbo, 2019. Three from Hell, 2019. Digging to Death, 2021. And Made Vicious in 2021. Now, there are also two small cameo roles, one by Rob Englund,
Yes.
who everyone will know as
Yeah.
being Freddy Krueger.
To be honest, if you don't know what Robert Englund's done, you really shouldn't be watching horror films.
No, I'm not going to sit here and list all of Robert Englund's films and so on. And equally, there is a cameo role for Tony Todd, who is probably best known for playing Candyman, but he's been in lots of other films as well. And again, if we were to sit here and list Robert Englund and Tony Todd's films, we'd be here all week.
Yeah.
So there you go.
I would say though, I love the fact that when this film came out, because I was so hyped about when you said about we doing this. I love this film, and the fact that this film boosted itself so much on the fact that Robert Englund and Toe were in it, boosted it so much that it was like, yeah, they're going to be in it. It's going to be such an amazing film. They're both in it together for about 5 minutes.
Yeah,
That's both of them spread out throughout the film. Robert Englund's in it for about 2 minutes at the very beginning. And it's sad. It's just like that. How can you boost your whole film on two characters really that have only really got 4 lines cut all the way through it?
That's the power of the name of a star, wasn't it?
Oh,
Right,
mate,
so
that just made me laugh.
the synopsis says, when a group of tourists in a New Orleans haunted swamp tour find themselves stranded in the wilderness, their evening of fun and spooks turns into a horrific nightmare. Yeah. This is a great mix of gory slasher movie and light comedy. And the comedy isn't too much, and the gore is just about right.
I love it. To be honest, I love all the Hatchet films just purely for the fact that no one ever seems to die the same way.
Yeah.
Everyone
You know,
seemed to be killed in a completely different way,
but
and I loved it.
it's so unexpected at times.
Yeah,
You know, it's kind of like the way he kills them is so unexpected. It's like I didn't expect him to rip somebody apart,
honestly,
physically.
the one that I've seen this film before, and the one that done me still is the sander,
Oh yeah.
the
Yeah.
power sander he uses, and I'm like, and the first time I watched it, it was like he's in a swamp. Where'd he get that from?
Where do you get the power from?
Yeah, and I'm like, even now I sat there and watched it. I'm like, okay, maybe it's petrol powered, but even so, why?
I know. It's brilliant. I mean, I know you were saying they're not in it for long, but I do think that the cameos are brilliant
Oh
because
yeah,
Robert Englund is great as the dad, the fishing thing. It's just fantastic. And Tony Todd, I thought it was great because he does this brilliant thing of being kind of like menacing for about 30 seconds and then turns
yeah.
into sort of like just an ordinary bloke who's out to make money.
Yeah, I loved his quote, and it's one of my favourite lines. He's sat there, he's on medicine, he draws him in, and he's just like, then they sued me, and I'm like, even now, even the second time watching it, I was like, just, even I don't know why, but I watched it a couple of times, and I sat there, I was like, oh, it's gonna be something really bad, and then
Yeah.
he got, oh, no, I got sued. I was like, it just doesn't fit what
No,
everything else you've played.
not, you expect it to be some kind of really bad sort of thing, but
Yeah,
there's a few of the like physical effects, the when people are killed and that sort of thing. Some of them are a little bit rough. They're not quite top notch,
no,
but you kind of forgive them for that because they still work and it's just kind of like fits in with the. It's almost like, I mean, this was made in when did I say it was made? 20,
2006, I think is.
2006, but it kind of works as like a throwback to the like 1980s slashers.
Yeah.
And some of the effects, I think looking at them, you almost feel like you're watching a 1980s
Oh,
slasher movie.
yeah. I sat there and watching it. I was watching it. I've seen this film a couple of times before, and I sat there and watched it, and it amazes me every single time the fact that it's the way that things have sort of progressed from there even then to what they are now,
Oh
to what they
yeah.
are now. I sat there and I watched it, and it was like it's just yeah, okay. There's a couple of bits that I'm like, yeah, all right. It's not as good as when I first watched it, but I sat there and I was like, you know, what, it's just amazing the stuff that was done.
I do think that some of it was actually made to look a little bit less
Yeah.
good because of the fact that it was supposed to give that feeling of watching a 1980s. It's
Yeah,
like watching a Friday the 13th or something like
yeah.
that. You know what I mean? That kind of,
He's all the things is like it's saying that the cameos that are in it sort of gives it that feel as well. The whole
yeah,
sort of because they were both big in that time, around there, sort of the films they were doing,
yeah.
and then the whole sort of I think the whole sort of effect as well because there's no real time sort of to it. There's no sort of this is the
No,
date it is, this is, and
yeah,
even with the technology that's being used in it, there's no real sort of
yeah. It
date
doesn't give
to it.
you any idea or indication
No,
what date this is supposed to have happened.
no. So it sort of lets your mind sort of run with where it is and what time it is and all that.
Yeah,
Again, I think a lot of it's down to where it is. Like being filmed in New Orleans, that
yeah.
place is just amazing to film in, and I
But
just
I mean, I I
I just love this film.
I tell you why I really like it. It's just good to watch. It's good fun to watch it. And the weird thing about it is, I've never seen this before, right?
Yeah.
I've never seen any of the Hatchet films before, but this is the first. This is the first film I think ever that I know that there's a series of them. And watching the first one, I had so much fun watching this film
Mm.
that I actually think I want to watch the next one and see if it's as good.
Well, the thing is, what I loved about this is the fact that with a lot of series films, the fact that Like, especially when it's like the first one, they know they're going to make more of them. And they leave it so wide open to be able to
Yeah,
carry it on. But this, they don't. Like
no,
if they've left it enough open, so yeah, they could carry it on if they wanted to, which obviously we know they did. But if they didn't, it wouldn't have mattered because it's just they would have been cocked up to
it's
people
like
that have gone missing.
everybody dies.
Yeah, everyone. Yeah, literally everyone dies, and it's just like.
It's
But I
great.
just
I love
what I
it.
love though is the fact that no one dies in the same way.
No, no,
Everyone's
you're
got
right.
their own different way of dying, and I think it's hilarious.
As I say, I definitely want to watch the next film to see if it's as good because, and I've never had that with series films. Most of the time with series films, I watch the first one and I think, oh, that was a good film, or that was crap, or whatever. And then when the second one comes out, or when I find out there's been a second one, or if even if I know there's a second one, I kind of go, well, I might
Mm.
watch it, I might not. But with this one, I actually want to watch it
Yeah,
because I had so
it's
much
it's the one
fun.
of the things that I sat there. I did the same things. I watched I watched Hatchet the first time, and I was like, oh, this is amazing. And then like Hatchet 2 come out, and I'm like, I have the same sort of feeling. It's like, oh, it's not going to be as good as the first. Always that's that sort of thing is the
Yeah,
fact that
yeah,
the series. But for what I remember of like, Hatchet 2, it's been so long since I've watched it. It is just as good. It is so well done, and it's
the
just the
effects.
whole this film at the same just is a credit to itself. It's the fact that
Oh,
it's just amazing in the way it's done it. Like you said, it's got the right balance of sort of a little bit of comedy in it, a little bit of like the right enough gore. It's not over the top with it, and it's just everything in it is just so well done.
yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, if they wanted to fit in with the kind of making it like a homage to the 1980s sort of
Yeah,
trilogies, what they should do is make the first one really good, the second one really awful, and the third one better than the second one, but not as good as the third,
yeah.
not as good as the first, rather.
But
That's what used
what
to
I do
happen.
love about this film, though, and the thing is that I found myself justifying it because I've got friends that would do this.
Oh,
It's the fact that there's a group of at least six of them,
yeah,
six of the blokes that are all out having a drink, having a party, having a laugh. One of them goes, actually, don't want to do this, and goes off, and one joins him. The rest of them bugger off,
yeah, absolutely.
and it's like it's not even like they've gone for an hour or so. They've gone for like the most of the after, or most of the day, most of the afternoon, and the evening, and then never come back. And no one bats an eye. None of them bat an eyelid.
No, well, why would they?
I just,
They probably just got drunk and they're sleeping off somewhere.
yeah, and I think it's hilarious. I love this film. I can't say enough about it. It's just such a great film, and
It is
saying
a great film. It is a great
the
film.
fact that they managed to keep it going, and the fact he had his own spin off as well. The actual
Yeah, I would.
Victor Crowley one, all about him. I think it's just hilarious. I love it.
I'm definitely going to watch some of the rest of the films because I want to see what they're like.
It's
Definitely,
definitely a franchise out of all of the horror films that I think didn't get pushed enough.
yeah.
So you've got Halloween, you've got Friday the 13th, you've got Nightmare on Elm Street, even the Candyman series to a sort of extent. They all got sort of pushed a lot more, and I think this is one that should have had so much more of influence and following.
It really was. It was really enjoyable to watch. It was great fun to sit and watch it. And
Yeah,
I think part of that is the fact that having watched all the things like Friday the 13th and the
yeah,
Halloween and all those sort of things, you kind of go, oh, I like this. It's just like so watching one of
yeah.
those, but with a bit more gore. Actually, I really liked the gore because it was great fun. It was good
Yeah.
fun to do. It
I
was
still,
almost like cartoon.
yeah, it was I liked about it as well is the fact that it's the certain things that are in it. Obviously, they think they first thing or when they first get their first sort of comeuppance on Victor when they sort of think they set him alight,
Mm,
and it's sort of they sit there and it starts raining, and you see it's almost that comedy thing you like, yeah, like you see in cartoons and stuff like that. But even them as like people in the film, they acknowledge it's just like really
yeah,
how bad of a timing. And I love the fact that it's just them little slippings with stuff like that. It's just such a
yeah.
great thing on this film.
It is. There was some absolutely brilliant one-liners.
Yeah,
There's some brilliant characters. They all work so well together,
yeah.
and it's great fun to sit and watch. Really,
Mm,
it's probably the most fun I've had watching a film for a while. It was
yeah,
really good to watch. Um, yeah. So okay, well there you go. There are our three films. You got the first one, which was called Emptiness, which is it's not a bad film. It's
no,
cheaply made, and but it's not a bad film. Then you have Night in Space, which is obviously cheaply made as well, but nowhere near as good as the first one. And finally, Hatchet, which is a brilliant film, a great fun to watch, and I would recommend it to anyone. Just kick back and have a laugh, and just sort of like watch it with a few friends, so you can have a few beers, never laugh at it.
Yeah,
Sort of thing.
even if it's purely for the fact that like you make a drinking game out of it.
Yeah.
That's one of the things me and my friends did when we first set up. I think the third time we watched it, we had a drink for every time that someone was killed. Someone was killed, and it just got to the point where they either run out of people in the film, or you run out of drink.
Yeah, it is good. It's a good, fun slasher movie.
It is.
I haven't seen one of them for a long time. Okay, well, there you go. So have a watch of those. Let us know what you think of the films and our show and everything else. You can leave messages in the notes on here. You can send messages to our production company, Thrave Productions, who the channel that this is on is their channel. So get in touch with them and all that kind of thing and stuff and stuff like that. So thank you, Scott, for being here and being part of this.
Oh, I'm glad I could be.
And thank you to anybody and everybody that has watched, listened, thought about doing either got in touch with us through telepathy or oh yeah, hang on. It's a joke for all the telepaths out there. Hey, that's not bad, is it? Not bad. So yeah, we will see you again next week. Well, you will see us anyway. We'll just sort of mentally see you when I latch into Cerebro. Until then, good luck with everything, and may all of your problems be something.
Yeah.
And we will endeavour to do more of the same next time. I don't know what's going on there. Really don't. Somebody pinched me. Anyway, bye.
Bye.
The Sci-Horror Film Podcast.